darling.
Hi, darling. How are you? I just can't.
I know.
I mean, we all knew there wouldn't be, but the fact that we're really down to one state is like,
It's not one state.
well, yeah. When you look at the
It's going into a recount.
Are they really? It's that close. I saw that Georgia, they were only separated by like 0.4% or something.
It's now 0.1.
Wow.
And there are counties that haven't come in that are heavily Democratic.
Okay.
So they'll probably go into a recount in Georgia, but Biden will win.
Yeah.
That's in Georgia. Georgia.
I know. It's insane.
Stacey Abrams is a goddess.
Yes, she is. So I've been drinking my hopeful champagne since Tuesday.
I couldn't do champagne because I drink the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to do this.
Yes.
And we've got humidity and heat like I can't believe.
Weird, right?
It's going to rain.
On Saturday.
On Friday night, Saturday.
Yeah.
But this is like ridiculous. I walked into my bedroom. I had, instead of turning the air conditioner off, I turned it way low and the air conditioning was going.
Yeah.
Because it was so hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I decided to do some grilled veggies because that's my go-to. You know that.
I do, yeah.
But I also included the appetizer board.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to talk about that because that is really a go-to. I'm also going to talk about the weddings that I've catered,
mm-hmm.
birthdays that I've catered. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Cheer, they were like cheers. Now they're like full orchestral presentations.
We did this till UDLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. I mean, we really did too. Very,
guys, we're starting. Hi, everybody. This is our appetizer show. And I'm going to talk about grilling vegetables, what you can do to make an appetizer board. I really like appetizer boards, small ones, big ones, in between ones. That is the way to go because
it's the honey.
It gives people a lot of choice. And so we're going to start with some cheese. And I like.
It's a good start.
It's a good, always
a good start.
Always good. I'm going to chop some garlic. Now, not all of this garlic is going into this, but I like putting it into the food processor because I'm also going to use the food processor to make a dipping sauce. So that goes in there. And voila, we have a lot of chopped garlic. About half of that is going into about 8 ounces of cream cheese, goat cheese, sorry. It's a goat cheese from the supermarket. You can get it from Costco as well. It's cheap and you can dress it up any number of ways. So I have the goat cheese. I have herbs. And I got the herbs from my garden. So I've got basil. Here's some, not too much, but a little bit of rosemary, oregano, and of course, thyme. And the way you get thyme off of the stalks is by holding the top and pulling backwards. And then it comes off really easily. And you get all kinds of little tiny leaves off of it. And, oh, I had some mint, so why not? I'll put some mint on it. And that's enough. I mean, you don't even have to do fresh herbs. You could do parsley, you could do dried, of course, my usual herbs de Provence. Yes, Carrie. And you just chop all of this up and throw it into the cheese.
Frozen.
Can you tell us some knife technique, Kate?
What's
How are
yours?
you doing that?
Can I tell what kind of technique?
Knife technique. What's your knife technique?
All right. I have a French, knife. And all that I do is scrape it together. Keep my hand on this hand, on the tip, not on the tip, but on top. And then chop across. Scrape it together and chop it across. It makes it, you can do this, and once you get the technique down, you've got it. It's really simple. And then that goes in there. Now, what else can you put in there? You can put onions, you can put shallots. Hi, Dina.
Hello.
You can put anything you want in here to flavor it up. You can cooked onions if you want. I'm putting a little bit of cream in there because it makes it creamier, but you don't have to. Oh, pepper. Ground pepper, maybe a little salt, not much because you never know. And then you mix this up. And it's absolutely delicious. I think I want it a little bit creamier than that, so I've got more cream that I'll put in. You can, if you don't want cream, don't put it in. It'll just be a little thicker. It helps to have the cheese at room temperature. It really does. So I'm going to set this aside. Now, you could make this yesterday. You could easily make this way in advance. You do not have to make it at the last minute. And it kind of mellows out and tastes equally delicious later on. So I'm putting that to the side for a minute. I'm going to put that in nice something. Okay, now I have, oops,
Kate,
yeah,
can I ask a question?
sure.
What's the room number to get into here? I have it on automatic. Stuart can't get in.
It's on your, I don't know.
I have it right here. You want me to read it to you, Susan?
Sure, thanks, Pam. Okay, Stuart,
It's
listen to Pam.
876 1489 7187.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Pam.
Of course.
Okay,
It looks like that mixture could be used instead of Beurre cheese in some of your recipes.
absolutely. It really does. You can also put garlic powder, onion powder in that. You can spice it up however you want. Whatever you want to do or whatever you're thinking about, you can throw it in. And it's an alternative to boursin. It really is. I just had 2 cups, which was rough, 2 cups of basil leaves, the rest of the garlic that's in there, and I'm going to throw in olive oil, a little hole, and I'm just eyeballing it. And this is the result, which is a dipping sauce. It's a lovely green dipping sauce, which you can put in some cheese if you want. You can put in nuts if you want, then call it basil, pesto. You can do it however you want to do it. And it's just garlic. This is garlic, olive oil, and basil leaves, fresh basil. And it's delightfully lovely looking. Now, if you want to, you can put a little bit of cheese in that. This is vegan right here, which is an advantage if you're doing a spread. But like, there's a little bit of Parmesan, and you mix it up. And if it's not thick, if it's too thick, throw some more olive oil on it. In it, it makes a lovely dipping sauce. Before you serve it, and if I were making this in advance, I would make it, put a layer of olive oil on top so that it doesn't turn brown. And then and then when you get ready to serve it, you just mix in the olive oil and then taste it to make sure that you have enough salt and pepper in it that for you. This will go with the grilled vegetables. And that, now you can see how easy those sauces are, and you make them up in advance. You don't wait till the last minute to do it unless you have unexpected company or something. So let's talk about the vegetables, the grilled vegetables, because Carrie knows this is one of my favorite things to do. If you want, you can roast the vegetables on a pan like this one. And you're going to roast them for probably 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other at 450. Okay? That's if you don't have a grill. If you do have a grill, just instead of cutting this into little circles, don't do that if you have a grill. Only do that if you have a pan like this one, because those little things will fall through the grates. cut it in slices this way. And then grill it, and then you can cut it into pieces when you put it on the grill. I mean, when you put it on the plate. This can be made many different ways. Your peppers can be made many different ways. You can cut it and then put it in slices, put it in the oven when you do your eggplant. And well, here's eggplant, ditto for the eggplant as far as in circles. Cut it like that, and so that you don't have to keep flipping over tiny little objects. So you've got all of that. This you can grill over a flame on the stove or throw it onto the barbecue and at the back and keep flipping it until it's all black or sort of black. And this is what it looks like when it's done. And the skin comes right off. And you can pull this off and get the seeds out. Again, this can be done way in advance. Or do it like this in slices, have the seeds out already, and then what you're doing after you've charred it is to pull off the skin. And there you go. You tear it into slices or something that's easily cut into serving pieces. So I'm gonna, once you barbecue it, once you've charred it, whether in the oven, under the broiler, whatever, throw it into a bowl with a lid and let it sit there. It will steam and the skin will come off really easily. Worry about it. I did this, maybe when did I do this? And it's warm enough, it's room temperature now, and it's easy to peel. So there you go. And then what is the sound? Does anybody know what the sound is? Whatever.
Pam, you're not muted.
Muted? Ah, there you go. All right. So that's your peppers, and you've got plenty of those. And these packets are really good if you're doing them on the grill, because it just means that you don't have to pay attention to them. They're not going to fall out. One of the things that I really hate is how they have sliced onions, and then the onions have are put on the grill and mine always fall through. Put them into packets. You take an onion, slice it up. You'll notice that I'm not bothering to clean up the board because it's all the stuff that will go into this anyway. You have a packet, you make it like this. Have a double piece of aluminum foil. Put it on like this into aluminum foil. And then put olive oil, a little bit of salt, pepper, and make it into a packet. So you roll it up, roll up the edges so that it won't leak. And put it onto the grill at the back while you grill everything else. And it's
But everything else is grilled right on the grill, right? Not in packets.
right on the grill, except for mushrooms. Now, when you grill mushrooms, now I didn't have the big mushrooms. I couldn't find them. So I did a little packet of mushrooms like that. Kept them on the grill. They're done. They're cooked. Here are the onions that I cooked earlier. And you just keep flipping it over and over. They're not even really brown. They're just cooked. It really works out. You throw a little bit of olive oil onto the zucchini and the eggplant. Now, I'm going to put the plate together because I want to. I will show you how. Oh, sorry. Here's the egg. Here we go. I'm going to put a plate together with some of the elements that I have. Let's see. Here are the zucchini slices. Now, I don't like serving them whole like this, mainly because people can't lift them up and put them on a cracker or on a piece of bread. So if you cut them up, I also don't like mixing up my vegetables because there are people who hate, for example, they hate eggplant. So I've got a lot of eggplant here. So I'm just going to cut up the eggplant the same way, only because they're about the same color, I'm going to keep them on different sides of the platter. Now, I did these vegetables. I grilled the vegetables on the grill. It took me a good deal less than half an hour. I think it was maybe 20 minutes to grill the vegetables. And then I put them into a container like this with a lid on it and let them steam. They're now room temperature, and we get to make them pretty. Here we have this, and we have grilled asparagus and the mushrooms, the onions. Now you'll notice I'm kind of alternating colors because it looks good, because I do that. And I have, where am I? Oh, here are my mushrooms. here's the dipping sauce. Or the and/or the cheese. Now, I think that looks mighty fine. You know, I have made this for, I do more, I do more of it. This is one eggplant, one zucchini, half a pound of onion, mushrooms, a little bit, a handful of asparagus. You put a knife in here, a spoon in here, little plates, and everything is great. And I know, Mariana, you've had this many times. This is always a hit. People love this. Now, what do you do if there's gaps on your plate? Why, you throw on herbs if you want. Or you put olives on there, or whatever you want. This is the easiest thing to do. It can be served at room temperature. It's better if the cheese is not cold. It's all served at room temperature. It is it's a total hit. And if you slice up baguette, it's a complete meal. So I'm just, this is, yeah.
I noticed on the thing you sent out, you talked about tomatoes. Would you do them similar to the peppers?
Yeah. If you want big tomatoes, I would cut them in half.
Okay.
And put them on the grill. And you don't have to peel them or anything. They'll kind of be goopy and be fine. Little tomatoes, you can put on raw and it would be fine. Or if you have a little basket, what if it's not barbecue time? Well, you can add fresh vegetables on here if you want, like, oh, by the way, carrots are really good in a packet too. Carrots, if you put carrots in a packet and spice them up a little bit, they're great. And they're orange, so they look really good on the platter. The main thing is, at least for me, is to keep them separate so that people know what they're getting, and then make it so. And then okay, so you've got a cocktail party or something, or it's a wedding, which is what I usually do this for. If it's a wedding, and it sort of gets picked over, it looks a little picked over. Well, what you do is you kind of take a knife, scooch it over, and fill in the gaps either with bread or with crackers. You can, you fudge it about halfway through, about an hour in. If it's now this would be great for a first course. As Carrie and Mariana, I do this all of the time. A plate like this can be a really good cheese plate too. You can do, and that's where you get the appetizer board. Dina and I have majored in appetizer boards. Every time that I go to Trader Joe's, I buy, not every time, but lots of times. If I have something, I might have tapenade. This keeps forever at the back of your fridge. make a little bowl with tapenade, which is olives. You got it. Trader Joe's artichoke antipasto. Hello. This will keep forever in the back of your fridge. And, of course, you're going to have 8,000 little things at the back of your fridge, but I have that anyway. Olives come in containers like this, in jars. They keep forever. And
Not in my house.
what?
I said they don't last forever in my house. I go through a jar of olives a week.
Eating them. You just keep eating them. This is great stuff. Everybody who's been to my house knows about pepper jelly. It goes really well with the veggies and the cheese, the pepper jelly and the bread. Pepper jelly is fabulous. And I gave you a huge list, okay? It's by no means comprehensive, and you only need to do like 3 things off of it, as long as they kind of look good on the platter. Right, Dina?
Yep, you
We
can do it with just a couple things and you've got a platter.
And you've got a whole platter. It looks fabulous. If you kind of, okay, I need 1 or 2 cheeses. I need a couple of different kinds of crackers. Or no, maybe no crackers. Maybe you just want bread or a dip or, pepper jelly, a fruit, sliced apples, or you do it a lot, Dina, with meat as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like Italian meat or sliced ham or something. The point is, you don't need much. No matter what you have, you're not making 3 pounds of salami on here. You're making 3 or 4 slices. And not everybody's going to eat them. And so what? And if it's gone, herbs. Throw the herbs on there, or more crackers in that area. It all works. It all works together. And grapes are always good. Grapes make
Grapes and bits and
yeah, and dried fruit. If you have in the back of your fridge pecan halves, a little container of pecans. You throw in a few pecans and it looks fabulous. The main thing that you do is whatever's in there, you just use and don't sweat it. If there are a bunch of little plates around, it doesn't matter. It probably is going to be fine as long as you have a knife or a spoon in each one and plates for people to put the stuff on. If I were doing a cheese platter, I probably have 2 or 3 different kinds of cheese. A soft cheese or a brie with cheddar and maybe a blue cheese. Not everybody's going to eat blue cheese, so you get a little piece of it. And then you fill in the gaps with whatever's in the fridge. So that, and like I said, you can, in the course of the evening, you can kind of move things around and consolidate plates and nobody notices. Nobody notices. And you add up things together. Whatever you like, whatever your guests are going to like, that's what you serve. And like tonight, I'm going to have, somebody's bringing some spare, not somebody, but my housemaid is getting some spare ribs. And so we're going to have this, a baguette and spare ribs. And the main thing that you need to do with anything like this is to give yourself permission to put anything you want on there. Anything you want. What if you don't think it'll go, stick it on there anyway and see what happens. It works out. I catered a wedding in New Orleans, and I had no idea I was catering it, by the way, until the day before. And she handed me $250 and said, anything you want, you can buy. Well, $250 doesn't seem to go very far, but I catered a wedding with meats, with all kinds of, oh, you can get these lovely peppers in jars. Jars of peppers, jars of artichoke hearts. I went to Costco. I bought crackers. I brought bread. I had a spread for 50 people with meat and cheese for $250. And that was the wedding. That was a wedding where everybody was drinking and eating and, all of that. So it can be very cheap. It can be very expensive. It all depends on what you have, your budget, and what you can throw on a plate. So that's my solution to appetizers. I
Or
don't
what you pick up at farmer's market.
exactly. You can do pita and hummus. And you could put hummus in a third thing over here, and that would be a third little plate, and this would all go with hummus, by the way. Everything would go. It's all up to you. It's all I think that people just need to have permission to have it go whichever way they want.
I'm a little mad at you now, Kate, because whenever I've eaten that particular thing, I've always watched to see how much is disappearing and thinking that that's an indication of when to stop eating. I didn't know you were like fixing it the whole time. No wonder I'm always stuffed.
I just kept adding stuff. I might do 2 big eggplants and 3 big things and have some stuff off to the side and watch the plate. I keep adding to it. Whatever. You don't even have to do that. It works out really well. And like I said, people really like it. Dina and I have catered several things. I've catered several weddings and birthdays. It always, people are like, oh, this is so great. So there you go.
Kate, do you have squash for sale? Like fresh produce? I'm curious. I want to buy squash.
I'll care.
Show her that big one.
Wait.
Kate's gonna come out with some toy, right?
Yeah, it's a toy, all right.
Oh,
This is a banana squash.
oh my gosh.
It is heavier than a baby. And I am
I've
going to,
never seen any of those that big.
That's what she said.
yeah,
It's a toy, all right.
inside and couldn't believe it. Kelly's mom grows those things and it's ridiculous. Mariana, just come over, I'll give you some. Not that, because what I'm going to do to that is cut it, take the seeds out, put it in the oven, cook it, and then take the flesh out and put the cooked flesh into into jars, not jars, but
I had really good squash tacos that were a meat alternative. And I was like, oh, if you had a lot of squash, it's almost like mashed potatoes. You make up a bunch of it, but then you grill it and it becomes like a savory pancake for a vegan taco. It's delicious and it's very healthy. So you don't have to feel bad about eating tacos. So I was like, but I just have to buy squash. I know you have too much always. So
I always have too much. So I'll just come over. It'll be fine. Just come over. I'll give you some. You don't have to buy anything. No.
Okay.
Anyway, so there you have it. That's my appetizer show. If you want to deep fry small objects while your guests are in the drinking in there, you can, but I don't do that. If I'm going to have small objects, I go to Costco and get spanakopita, this little spanakopita squares and things like that. Though for me, it's not worth it to have small objects that go on a platter and then you have to keep refilling them. It's just not worth it. But
That platter's
know,
a whole meal.
Yes. Speaking of
Beautiful.
small objects, this cheese is really good if you put it into little onto pieces like squares of the pastry, onto pastry squares. Put a little bit of caramelized onion on top and then bake them. They make lovely little caramelized onion doodad squares and they're really good. The puff pastry, if you insist on having little squares of things. But like I said, I don't usually, for a party, I don't usually do tiny objects that, other than maybe I might make cream puff, savory cream puffs and fill them with tuna salad or crab salad. Those are good too. But like I said, this is my go-to. So I hope that you all like it and that you will try it. And
Is Barry's kitty taking notes? Barry's kitty is paying very close attention to what you're saying, Kate.
Yes, the cat is very excited about grilled vegetables.
She's gonna eat pretty soon. There she goes.
that cat is very yeah. So anyway, so there you have it. That's my suggestion. Oh, by the way, this can be made up in the morning. The reason why I chose it is because for Thanksgiving, the oven is usually busy all day. And this can be done early in the morning if you're doing it in the oven, or it can be done on the grill while everything is in the oven. And it works out really well to be made, like I made this at 2:30 this afternoon. I grilled the vegetables. I'll be serving it tonight at 7 o'clock. So.
Kate, can you make it a day before and refrigerate it and then let it come to room temperature?
Yes, you can.
You
Yes.
can.
Yeah, because
That would be good for Thanksgiving.
right. Yeah, I generally don't, but I think since what I do with this after everybody's gone is I take everything and put it into a pan, and then the next day eat it. So yeah, and it tastes great. it just tastes great. By the way, this cheese and the dipping sauce are really good the next day. They're really fun the next day. So there you have it. That's my take on appetizers for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. What?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying yay.
Okay, and thank you very much for coming. Let's see, next week, I haven't really thought about it. Oh, Carrie and I talked. We'll do some side dishes for Thanksgiving. We'll do some side dishes.
Did you do roasted root vegetables? Roasted root vegetables?
Yes, we're gonna do roasted Brussels sprouts. And a couple of,
Now you're talking Stuart's thing. He loves roasted vegetables. That's why he's here.
well, these are roasted. If you do them in the oven, these are basically roasted vegetables. So just so that you know, these are basic. You could easily put on here some roasted squash or something roasted. Potatoes. You could put potatoes on here. Eggs, hard-boiled eggs, all of that. So this is basically roasted roasted vegetables. You can just, it's just, refurbished a little bit. So there you have it. And so I'll do that next week. And then the week after that, I'm going to talk about a dessert or two for Thanksgiving that's unusual. Okay?
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.